Hey, PS, great. The last digit of your like on this video is someone from the meme background, and the last digit of your subscription to my channel will show your subject from the meme background. So come down right now, subscribe and like. Look at the screen, pay attention to the last digit of your like and your subscription. And write someone from chalk background in the comments. It's simple if your like is the 8th, and the last digit of the subscription is number 5 here and a lemon with a cactus. Show your imagination and enjoy your viewing. And great, dear friends, you have fed Fonka. In this video I will tell you about the new update. The future in it is the Playground 17.0. But to start the video, as always, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys for getting into my video, and if you want to get into my next video, then everything is quite simple. You need to subscribe to the channel, like it, write your top comment. Well, don't forget to subscribe to the cart, because the link is always in the description. In general, I will not drag out your time and enjoy watching it. Well, the first wave of updates, possibly some fixes 16.0 is coming soon, as it was with previous versions 15, 14 and so on. Perhaps, as last time, we are waiting for an interesting version under the guide 16.1.100, because this is essentially such a global update inside the update. How can I explain it to you? That is, usually we are waiting for fixes that are there 15.01, 15.02, 15.1, 15.2, but 15.1 with 100 point is a bull global update that was inside the update, that is, only to change something as much as possible, while not changing the global structure of the game. In general, this is somehow how, in my understanding, it works. And perhaps we are waiting for exactly the same outcome in this update 16.1.100. After all, there are in fact a lot of problems that can be fixed and hinted at by the developers themselves. Well, let's take it in order. Let's turn first, as always, to the developers Discord server, and there we can see interesting information and why did we initially change the logo of our game. As you remember, we used to have a Mayan, now there is a Jeep depicted there. And here is interesting information by the way. As the developers themselves say, this is what the icon of the game on Android has been updated. And yes, it's still not Milo's head, but why? It's simple. Google forbids us to use it under threat of deleting the game. The true reason for their behavior remains unclear, and we hope for your understanding. This is very interesting information, because in fact it is not clear why this is happening at all. Why Google and their dispute simply extinguishes and forbids the development of the Chalk Playground and, in principle, as a brand, because in reality the icon of the Chalk Playground game has already declared itself and untwisted itself, that is, it is how it is already a household name. Therefore, it is strange just why Google developers simply inserted into the sticks in the wheels of a very large studio that is already really working qualitatively on its product. To be honest, I don't understand it a bit. But there are small speculations as to why this is happening at all. I have several options and now I will voice one of them. The head of Milo, in principle, it embodies as if a person. I think it's no secret to anyone that there are some similarities between a man and Milo, as a character in the game Chalk Blackroll. And yet, if you look at how much our players mock the characters in principle, then we can conclude that Google will simply soon be able to insert 18+ content for our game, simply because the Melons are very similar to people. And, as it were, cruelty, all this abuse, an example of violence, and so on. In general, this will only have a negative impact, and perhaps that's why the developers asked to remove the melon icon from the game, which in principle seems logical, and therefore changed the name of the game Melon Box. The developers thought that if they changed the name, the attitude of Google developers would change. Here's a new name, it means a new game, it's okay. They will simply forget about them, they will not find them by searching, the developers will stop following the game. In general, I think our favorite developers had some such assumptions when they changed the name of the game. That is why Milonov was most likely removed from the game, simply because they are really humanoid. Google and their company decided to extinguish our favorite developers with a cute background. In general, such layouts are still present in our country according to what is happening now in general in the internal conflict between the Chalk Playground and Google itself. In general, this is a pretty interesting theory. And let's pay attention in general, in principle, what the icon looks like, which was proposed by the developer himself. Well, now we can only guess what will come out in the next update, because there are essentially no hints, and if only indirectly we can notice, we don't have any connections with developers, in fact, bloggers now, but personally I won't talk about others. Therefore, we will only guess what will happen in the next update, but I think that it will come out already quite a dispute, because it has already been 15 to 20 days since the previous global update, and in principle, plus or minus once a month and a half, a new update is released. In principle, this is such a normal cycle that occurs with updates. And let's see what our developers announced at this time. And in fact, nothing, just a cactus, which hints at the addition of a new NPC in the form of a cactus. Perhaps the cactus will save the situation 117 plus, and the addition of robots and new characters is only a matter of time. Just to lure the development vector of the chalk playground a little bit, so that now it was not a chalk playground, but a Melonson box. And in general, such an interesting thing is happening in the world of the chalk playground, and on the news here are such things. And naturally, the vacuum cleaner is now winning in the update, or rather in the vote for this update, and therefore it is obvious that the vacuum cleaner will be added in a future update. It remains only to wait for the vacuum cleaner to be added and what properties it will have. Well, this is where my video comes to an end. In short, these are the news we had this week in the world past the background. Thank you all for watching, good luck to everyone, God and I remember my friend, as always, I'll see you one of these days.